There's a conversation to be had.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Chalo. I'm in the house. Conversation to be had podcast. We got an uncomfortable conversation to be had today. We're gonna talk about the Charlie Kirk assassination. And before we get into it, I'm gonna just say that for this to be a race issue is amazing to me because I woke up the day after and I go on social media and I see all this back and forth between people, and it's racial. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, Charlie Kirk was white. The guy that killed him was white. Why is this a white and a black thing? It goes to show you, they try to turn everything into racism, and this don't have nothing to do with race. So I'm gonna bring the guys in. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. What's up, guys?
What's going on, brother? What's up,
What y'all
SNL?
doing?
What's happening, guys?
Oh man, we're gonna talk about this Charlie Kirk thing, But first, let's just touch on racism for a little bit. I'm looking on social media and I see all this racial stuff, and like I just said in the beginning, I don't understand the black part in this whole thing. So, I mean, if you're a racist and you love Charlie Kirk or his rhetoric or whatever he was, spitting out, why are you mad at black people today when it was a white guy that killed him? That's what I'm saying. This world, they're trying to turn everything into racism, and I don't think that this has anything to do with racism. But let's talk about, before we get into Charlie Kirk, let's just talk about what a racist is, because some people say that he's not a racist. He's what would he be called?
A real conservative.
White nationalist, maybe.
Well, that's a racist.
I mean, duh. But see, this is how I would describe him. I would describe him as a passive aggressive racist. Like, I heard him make the comment, if he was to get on a plane and he walked by, like, to go to his seat, and he saw a black pilot in the cockpit, he'd be like, "Oh boy, I hope he's qualified," or something like that. That's totally a racist statement, but it's not like just, "I don't want no black guy flying me." You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, all of his statements are kind of snarky. Like I said, it's passive aggressive. It's not, that's why he hides it in a debate form. You had posted something on Facebook, and I saw the guys getting into it about it. And one of the guys had said that he just provided a platform for debate. And I agreed with him. But the thing is, how much debate can you have with hate speech? Either either you're for it or you're against it. That's not really a debate. You know what I mean? So, but back to what I was talking about. When we deal with racists, you have to kind of, it's a double-edged sword. We all know racists. I'm about to bring one on in a minute. So we're going to try to convince him to come to the other side. But it's just, like I said, I don't understand how this particular issue has to do with race. Other issues, I do. I totally do. And it can be set up to look like that. You know, you can set the whole race issue up, the whole, you know, Rocky Apollo thing up. But this one, I just don't understand. You know, you got anything to say about that, Sean?
Yeah, when I think about racist and what makes a person racist, I think the main thing is that they believe that their race is superior than others, and they also got to kind of have be in a situation where they're in the power, where they have the power to be able to discriminate against another race. But I think the main thing is that they feel like their race is superior than others, and I don't think that necessarily that the killing was racial, but I think that Charlie Kirk was very provocative, right? Like he tiptoed along that line of racism, and he provided a platform for racists to come on there, and he didn't disagree with them at all, when he argued them, he came around, he would talk about the Great Replacement theory. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what it is? Okay, yeah. So, that began and is pushed by white nationalists, Nazi parties, and everything like that, and he believed in it. He literally said it's not a theory, it's a reality. So,
Yeah.
there was also, when he criticized Martin Luther King, he called him awful and not a good person. He said he was only admired because, because he said one thing he didn't actually believe. That he also was one of those people that went hard on the DEI. Everybody was DEI. In fact, he had a whole segment where he said that Michelle Obama and Justice Ketanji Brown, they didn't have the brain processing power as black women to be able to hold the positions that they had. They stole their jobs from another qualified white person. So, you know, um, he definitely, in my opinion, was a racist. And I think that's where the race comes in with him, with this whole assassination. You know what I mean? That's why everybody jumped on the racial side of things, because he was, to me and to a lot of other people, a verifiable racist.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm gonna bring Moo on, man. We're gonna talk to Moo.
All right.
Everybody, Mustafa Al Shabazz, the
What?
self-proclaimed racist.
That motherfucker shit.
Welcome to the show, Moo. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
So,
What's happening?
Uh-huh.
you're a self-proclaimed, excuse me, racist.
Yeah, fuck it. I am.
Why?
Because white folks made me that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't trust none of them.
Is there any other race besides the black race that you would trust?
No. That's the blacks is it. Fuck all the rest of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, especially the fucking Mexicans. Oh, hell no.
So, Boo, I
What you
love
say
you,
about the
man.
Mexicans? Move. What you say?
I said, fuck the motherfuckers. That's what I said. Them motherfuckers go to shit.
So,
Okay, Moo.
so I got a question.
Right.
So you think that? So you feel that? You know what I mean? What made you racist is uh, what happened to you in the past, like your interaction with other races, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel like sharing, was there what bad interactions did you ever have like that? What it made you?
Police harassed me all the fucking time for no reason.
I could feel that. I could
Yeah.
feel that. The police. But what
Yeah.
about like teachers and everything like that? You didn't have any like good teachers, or like when you go to the doctor, great doctors or nurses and stuff like that that genuinely cared for you, or that weren't black?
I don't know about all that bullshit. I mean, that stuff there, right?
No, I'm never gonna judge you, brother. For real, seriously, man. I don't want it to be like that, you know. I'm honestly curious, you know. So for me, I grew up in a very mixed neighborhood, and I had a lot of experiences, good and bad, with other races and stuff like that. But I get, some people, they don't have that opportunity, like they don't grow up in a diverse neighborhood.
Oh man, I grew up like it was just mama. So whoever let us move in, we moved in. So I went from Chicago to the burbs. So I've seen it. I've seen it all, and
Oh,
it's hard to trust them. You know.
I get you. So like, I feel most comfortable around my own people. You know what I mean? But I feel most comfortable if like when like let's say like I work at a job, right? And there's only what 7 black people there. But it's funny because when we have our big company wide events, we all find each other. You know what I mean? That's what we do. We find each other because that's where we feel most safe at. And we can crack jokes that only we'll get or have like honest conversations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying. But I also have a white wife. You know what I mean? And my kids are mixed. So I also do that too. So do you feel like somebody like such as myself, would you still consider me a pro black? Or would you just say that I'm like a race trader or something like, you know what I mean? Cause my girl white.
Shit. I mean,
Be honest. You're not gonna hurt my feelings, brother. I'm still gonna love you. Be honest.
oh fuck. I mean, I don't.
Be honest, Moo. I'm not gonna be mad at you, brother. I promise you, man. I've heard it all before. Yeah, I still got love for you, man. Be honest. Say what you feel.
You want to know the fuck it then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you think so? What?
Sold your fucking soul.
My soul. Okay. No, it's cool. I've heard it before, brother. I've heard it all before. So. Okay. Now let's take that a little bit further, right? So in my mind, I feel like, back in my day, all I ever dated was black women, and then I fell in love with this white woman and had kids, It wasn't nothing that I chose. I didn't go seek it out. I still find black women beautiful. I love black women. I think they're the fruit of this earth, all that.
Black women before as girlfriends.
What's that?
I said, so you have had black women as girlfriends before?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I don't just date white women, man.
You know, strictly with them, with them.
No, I've had black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, I'm Indian. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of been all over the place. But I fell in love with a white woman. You know what I mean? But I still feel like I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be black. Like I wouldn't want to be anything else. Like I don't. I still go to war when it comes to like black issues, which you'll see later on. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Hey, well, don't mention Indian around your boy Bootsy. He you know, he know what I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness, this dude. All right, so let's get back to it. When do you feel like racism is the right thing to teach others?
I mean, shit. I mean, you need to know about where you come from, your history, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, so
but that's not teaching racism. That's teaching history.
Yeah, because I want to know all that. But you know what? Yeah, I am because yeah, like I say, I keep trying to not deny it, but yeah, I am. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm one.
So one of the things I feel like what makes like white people racist or anybody racist is because they don't know enough. They haven't been around enough other cultures in order to see the commonality in everybody, that we're all just human. You know what I mean? So like, for example, like during the Vietnam War, because people were put and drafted and went to the military, they were forced to be with each other and they ended up becoming brothers and stuff. So black people that never messed with white people before and white people that never messed with black people before, they came together because they had to, and they had another understanding of each other. And a lot of that racism, I'm not gonna say died, but people found commonality between each other, became brothers. Same thing happens on college campuses. A lot of people go to college, and like white people go to college, black people go to college. They're forced to sit in classrooms with each other and learn and learn from each other, and they get to know each other, and they find out, oh, they're a little bit just like me. Do you think that maybe, eventually, let's just say someday, you know what I mean, you were like in a different environment where you're around different cultures and diversity, that maybe that might change your mind when you find, and you might see that, they're just like us or anything like that, or no?
No.
No? why not, Moo? why not, Moo? Why not, man?
Oh my God.
Why? I mean, because I don't think, I could, go with what they got going on. Like I said, dude, this shit is serious, and I know we all know this, and hey, it's hard to goddamn it, because you never know. Am I right?
No, I'm just saying. So it comes down. Does it just come down to trust that you don't trust with them, or you just don't like raisins in your potato salad type thing? Huh?
I said I don't like them or trust them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck them.
So, oh my God. So look, we
And
gonna
if
get it.
Kirk, whatever fucking name is, too. Fuck him too. Oh wait,
That's
Pardon me, y'all.
it, man.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, audience. I'm trying. I'm trying
Hey,
to stay.
it moves.
I'm trying to stay on track.
But in Boo's defense, I get it. You know what I mean? Like you got to think. We live in a world where white supremacy and systemic racism all affect the black culture, right? You know what I mean? And so a person growing up in that, eventually could sometimes learn to hate that other race, the one that's in power. And I think that's probably what happened with Boo. You know what I mean? He's been in a ton of. I'm not gonna take nothing from him, man. That man said the police. I get that, man. White officers put you in chains and you going to court in front of a white judge that's determining your fate and shit like that. That would piss me the fuck off too. And it could turn that anger could turn to hate easily. So I get it, brother.
the jury of your, you mean the pierce of your what is that called? They be saying
I don't know.
the jury.
Jury of your peers.
Cheers, yeah.
Fuck some old ass cracker fuckers. The jury of my fucking peers. Are you serious? Fuck out
Yeah.
of
It's interesting you bring that up too because I got jury notice. I wasn't going to go, but then I thought about it. I ended up going because I want to be on juries now because they need more black people on them juries to be there because we don't go, and if we don't go,
it. Was it a serious or was it some bullshit?
it was some bullshit. But still, man, I go now. Like I go to them now just for that reason that you just brought up because a black man or a black woman there should be somebody on that jury
Yes.
that looks like them. You know what I mean? So I need to go then. I can't just start ducking. I stopped ducking those things.
What the fuck?
Okay. We gotta get back on schedule, guys.
I'm sorry.
Oh my.
Okay.
My fault.
Hey,
Okay, we're talking about Charlie Kirk. We done got way out Charlie Kirk. But it was this one thing I wanted y'all to see before we really get into the Charlie Kirk thing. And that's this take by Emmanuel Acho on his new show. And he was discussing it. We're just gonna get into it. I'm gonna just let y'all see it, and we'll go from there because it's unbelievable.
It's tough, and again, I haven't found the words to tweet, and I don't think X or Twitter allows enough characters. So if I can just try to share my heart, Kieran, with you, with y'all for a moment, I'm heartbroken and devastated at the death of Charlie Kirk for a couple reasons. Number one, I mourn for his wife. I mourn for his children. I mourn for his loved ones. I mourn for all of those that loved him. And as a human who has empathy, regardless of your political views or where you stand on the aisle, right now it's time to mourn with those that are mourning and weep with those that are weeping. And so that is what I'm literally and figuratively doing. Simultaneously, I haven't found the words to say, Kieran, and I haven't found the words to say because when I look into so much of what people love and loved Charlie Kirk for, I'm like, okay, Emmanuel, your empathy is birthed from a belief that no person should die before their time, and absolutely no person should die as a result of gun violence, especially outside of war. But Charlie Kirk, he proudly stated that death by guns is a price we have to pay for our Second Amendment rights. And he said that it was worth it. And so I've been torn onto like, how do I share my emotions with y'all? How do I share my emotions with you? Because at times it almost feels like me mourning his death by gun.
So, guys, what y'all think, man?
You want me to start or you want to start? SL or move?
Hey, it's obvious to see what he on.
What's that, move?
That motherfucking soul is soul, the motherfucker.
He's shucking and jiving, ain't he?
Oh my God! I mean, what
Hey,
the
you know what? Moo, you know what he reminded me of? You ever seen Django Unchained with Samuel Jackson and the master gets shot and Samuel Jackson's holding Leonardo DiCaprio talking about no, that's what that shit did right there just reminded me of, man. It reminded me of that Django Unchained scene.
he look like just bend over and give it to me raw.
So here's the thing that he didn't bring up, man. So he was talking all that stuff about empathy, right? This Charlie Kirk himself said, I can't stand the word empathy. I think empathy is a made up new age term and it does a lot of damage. Well, for me, I'm going to go by what he said and I'm going to use that on him. I can't stand the word empathy when it comes to Charlie Kirk. And I think it does a lot of damage because that man has done a lot of damage to the culture, this country by being divisive and basically the world that we live in right now. He made his whole shtick was being provocative and he was supposed to debate, right? But those debates were in bad faith because he was debated basically underdeveloped minds. He went to college campuses to debate these kids that weren't ready, you know what I mean? So he could have his gotcha moment. So to me, I just feel like that, you can feel that maybe somebody didn't deserve to die a certain way, but you don't have to, but you don't have to mourn his death either. But you definitely don't have to celebrate it as well. Because see, I don't mourn Charlie Kirk's death. I don't mourn him at all. You know what I mean? The fact he died, I'm kind of okay, but I'm not going to celebrate it either. But that's my right. You got to stop asking black people, especially us black people, to have sympathy towards racists. Stop asking us to have sympathy towards racists.
Now that's your right. And if I thought that Emmanuel Acho, whatever, if I thought he was genuine with what he was saying, I wouldn't trip. I mean, I think it was ludicrous, but I wouldn't trip. It was so ungenuine. I mean, he's cooning for clicks.
Yeah.
That's a new phrase I got, cooning for clicks, and that's exactly what he's doing. So I don't honor that at all. Like you could tell you're not genuine. I'm deeply in my heart. I just don't know how to.
I'm like,
man, come on, man, get your lame ass out of here with that goofy shit. All right, what you got? What you think about it? So, what's your feelings on Charlie Kirk assassination?
You know, man, I've seen Charlie Kirk on some interviews. I can't really say I know too much about him until, pretty much after all of this just came about, Most of the time I've seen him, he didn't ever really, times that I've seen him, he seemed to be pretty fair, I've learned just recently about some of these other things that he said against black people and, religions and people's choices in life, What you was gonna say, Sean?
So I kind of I don't agree that I think that what made Charlie Kirk who he was the fact that it wasn't that he was fair. He knew that he was debating people that weren't on his level of debate, and he was able to frame their questions in a way that he could basically prove them wrong. Like he would take a simple question like, do you think the Second Amendment should exist? And then he would frame it in a way to where like he could make it seem like he was right. Now, when you put him, if you watch some of his other interviews where you put him with other elite debaters, he got the floor mopped with them. He had to shut up. He couldn't say a word because everything he's saying is basically faulty. It's kind of wrong. But when you put him with those college kids and he's debating other kids, yeah, he always seems like he's right and it's a fair debate. But it really wasn't that. He was debating these people in bad faith and he knew what he was doing going to those campuses. And I'm gonna say another thing real quick because I want to take up the whole thing. I also think that the reason why Charlie Kirk went to these campuses was because he was grooming the youth. I think he was grooming the youth because I feel like that they were going to use him either to launch him into politics, maybe try to have him be the next president or something like that. But he was grooming the youth on those college campuses because that was his following. And he went to it. That's why he was doing those college campuses tours, and that's why he was attacking the college campuses and the professors in the way that he was, which I'll bring up later because he had a professor hit list that was out on his Turning Point. I don't know if y'all know about that.
Mm.
Yeah, he had like 80 some million followers or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, he was the youth. That he was who the Republicans can't normally get. You know what I mean? They normally don't have a big youth coalition like that. The youth is normally still empathetic, still has feelings, is still usually left. But Charlie Kirk was slowly changing that, and that's what they were using him for. And I honestly think they were grooming him and and those kids so that they could launch him into politics. I think he might have been the next person running up. He's 31. He was right around the age to be president soon, to run for presidency at least. And I can see that for them. The Republicans needed him. That's why he was such a big loss, and that's why they're so upset that he's gone because he was part of the reason why Trump got into the second term.
All right. So back to what I was saying in the beginning. Why the racial tension when the shooter was white? I still haven't figured that out.
Because they want to get on bullshit. They want anything. They don't care what it is. They want to get on bullshit. And that's why they're saying that.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, Utah.
More,
Only motherfucking brothers I know in Utah is that motherfucker that would be saying that, what he say? They make them damn oxtail or whatever.
softball.
Yeah, you go.
Every way.
That's the only nigga I know to stay in fucking Utah.
Yeah.
So how could they even blame? But like I say, they want to use anything to get shit started, and they gonna try to come to Chicago and be on board.
Well, like I said, I think his death was a result
It's some
the passive aggressive speech, the passive aggressive hate speech. I think that had a lot to do with it. Some people take things too far. I mean, you could put this in. You wanna make new gun laws, or would that have solved what happened to Charlie Kirk? No, because when you think about it, the dude that shot him had a 4.0. He was like his father was a police officer. He had no criminal record, so he was like the perfect person if you're gonna hand out guns. Like if you apply for a gun, he gets one in the 3 days, 3 day waiting period. Here you go, like no problem. So you can create all the gun laws you want. That don't stop stuff. Like you got to get obviously, dude had a mental issue because, like I said, you got to have a mental issue when you go around. I mean, you could dislike people, but if you don't personally know them, like to have enough moxie to kill them, like it's something different going on in your brain. Like you don't know that person personally. So, I mean, for you to actually murder them, it's something else going on. We got to solve those problems.
There's a lot of people saying a lot of controversial things, in the world. I think it's deeper than just racism. I do agree with you though. A white person did it, and they mad at some black people.
No, I'm saying this has nothing to do with racism at all.
Oh, okay, right. That's what I'm saying.
I ain't saying this. This has nothing to do I don't know what they trying to pull, but I know they fucking lying. I ain't, don't put me in it, dude. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Hey, it's almost like I don't want to say I don't remember where it was. It was like a brawl that happened between some white people and black people. And all I can say about it at this time is that the black people got locked up, and it was a big thing online. People was like, well, no, the white people have started it. But I think with that said, black people always have been the brunt of
I get that, but I'm saying in this particular case, like if you're black, I don't feel like you should engage in any type of chicanery over this issue because it don't have nothing to do with us. And I mean, like if you feeling, happy or whatever, or some type of way about this man, getting this wig pulled back, I mean, great. You got the right to feel that way. But I wouldn't take it to the point where I'm getting into it with people over this, over this dude, because like I don't know him either. So like to any type of confrontation over to somebody we both don't know is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then to make it a racial issue when it was white on white crime is even more crazy. Like we got to see something else bigger is going on here.
Yeah,
and,
the only thing. Oh, sorry.
I'm just wondering, is his death gonna make him some type of martyr?
Absolutely.
You got the flag at half staff. They're riding the body home on Air Force One, and like I was telling y'all in pre-production, they didn't even do that for John McCain. He didn't get no flag at half staff or nothing. And this is just an ordinary podcast, a YouTuber. They glaze Trump all the time. I mean, this is weird.
So
the
that's
whole thing is weird.
You just said the reason. Trump.
Your boy.
That ain't my fucking boy.
I do think it's unfortunate how his words came back on him like that though. Like all the things he had said, and
Now,
how it is with black people, man. We we do that in the hood though, like you gotta watch what you say sometimes, you know what I'm saying? We'll be the first person to bring you up on them charges, and I feel like too, it could be could be getting a taste of that. I do think people going a little bit too hard, but that's their opinion.
The first thing I thought of when I saw that he got assassinated was Malcolm X when he was talking about when John F. Kennedy got assassinated. He said the chickens came home to roost because the hate you put out in the world is typically going to be given back to you tenfold. So if you just spitting and spewing hate out there in the world, I saw it. I mean, I wasn't surprised when I saw it. I wasn't surprised at how he got assassinated. I was pretty surprised that it happened, but I wasn't like shocked as to it actually happening because I can see why people don't like this man. You know what I mean? So yeah, I really do think that a lot of this is like you said, SL, is his words coming back to haunt him. The hate he put out there in the world came back, and it basically came back, and he got shot. You can't do all that hate speech and racism and stuff like that, and think that people aren't eventually, or there's some crazy out there that's not going to eventually come back and attack you. I mean, he was walking around with security for a reason. He got all types of threats they were talking about. He used to get hundreds of threats a day. So, yeah, man. And real quick, Charles, I want to touch on what you were saying about dude that we watched the interview with. I think that you're right. I mean, he was cooning at a very, very expert level, man. I would have to give him almost a 99 if it was like Madden or something like that for cooning. But I think that you're going to see a lot of that because people right now, they scared because they're getting canceled. You know what I mean? They just fired some host from MSNBC because he said exactly what I just said. Hey, you know what I mean? You put that hate out there in the world, it's going to come back and get you, and they canned him. And I totally agree with dude. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that statement. You know what I mean? But like a lot of people are, there was an article I was reading where about a dozen teachers have been fired across the nation because of tweets and stuff that they have made about the Charlie Kirk thing. So they're watching that thing. They're making right now a list. They're watching what people are saying. And if you say the wrong thing about Kirk, I think somebody came out and said you know what? Before I even say that, let me confirm that I don't want to be passing any false information. But people are watching. And the first thing my mama said to me, because the first thing my mama said to me, because my mama knows I got a big mouth and I'm out on social media a lot, she said, Rashawn, please don't go out there and say nothing about Kirk because they firing people. It's crazy. And it reminds her of the 60s. This is the type of shit that was happening in the 60s where people are getting assassinated like that. She said, you don't understand. I know that you're proud and you're going to speak your mind, but please don't say nothing about Kirk. And you know what I did? I posted about Kirk the next day. I can't not speak my mind, but I understand the fear that my mama has because she's seen that. And it's real. It's real out here. And that's not making excuses for dude either, for the cooning. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do that. I get that you want likes and clicks and all that type of shit. You trying to be provocative.
Yeah, that's what he was doing for.
Don't sell your soul, brother. Yeah, don't sell your fucking soul.
But on the flip side of that, let's say you're a white guy. If you're a white guy and you're mourning the death of Charlie Kirk, genuinely, does that make you a racist?
Yes.
Moose says yes. What you say, Sean?
I mean, I think anybody that can listen to Charlie Kirk and agree with a lot of the things that he says, the majority of the things that he says, has to be somewhat racist, because Charlie Kirk himself was racist and he made lots of racist statements. And if you can sit there, you don't even have to make a lot for me, but I'm black, so maybe that's different. But you don't have to make a lot. You can make one, and I'm done with you. White people give other white people chances, right? So, but this man made multiple racist statements over and over. You had the black pilot thing, the brain capacity of Michelle Obama and Justice Ketanji Brown, who, by the way, Charles Kirk never went to college. This woman was a doctorate. You had him talking about the Great Replacement theory, and then you also had the fact that he was talking about how prowling blacks were going around and targeting white people. He was pushing that agenda. You know what I mean? Whole DEI and the white privilege thing from him. The man was racist. So if you have so much thought in your brain to cry and feel genuinely bad about this man dying like that, it's got you in tears, somebody that you've never met, and all you did was listen to the words that came out of his mouth, then you racist.
Well, okay, let's take the never met. Let's say you knew him. Let's say you knew him. You know,
on a personal level?
I mean, not personally, just, I know you, y'all cool. You cool with him. Because you got to think, I'm sure there was a lot of white people who totally didn't agree with the stuff he said, but wasn't like their interactions weren't confrontational. You get what I'm saying?
No, wait, say it again. You said what now?
I'm sure there's a lot of white people that he interacted with that didn't agree with his, beliefs, but their interactions weren't confrontational.
Oh man, you saw one. The man that shot him was a white person.
Right.
That did the
Yeah. I'm saying like that's a one-off. That's what we call an outlier. How often does that happen? They're on the same side.
I see what you're saying. Like you're coming from a point that I normally come from, where there's just a basic humanity where you don't want to see somebody die in front of their family.
No, this is where I'm going with this. This is where I'm going. What I'm saying is he's what we would consider a racist because of his rhetoric, because of like I told you, I don't really hear him say overtly racist stuff. He says passive aggressive racist stuff. He's snarky with it.
But I think that's worse. But I think that's worse.
It is, because it pisses you off. He's being a smart ass instead of just telling you, F you.
Right.
He's going around, saying F you when you turn around. Every time you turn around and can't see him, he's saying it. Like that, you hate that worse.
Yeah, real quick. So a long time ago, like my father, I was talking to my dad, right? And he grew up in Chicago, and he moved down south for a while. And I asked my dad, I said, Dad, well, what did you like better? Chicago up north, or did you like down south? Now, I naturally thought he was going to say Chicago up north. He said, no, I like the south better. I was like, why? He said, because down there you knew who was racist. He said, you knew where not to go. You knew what people not to mess with. He says, up north, you don't know them. They smile in your face, and you have no idea that man's racist behind your back. So that's kind of what you're saying right there. You know what I mean?
And I honestly would rather live like that. I'd rather know what's coming at me than every time I turn around.
Right, I got that. It shocked me though, because I naturally thought it had to be the North. As a kid, I'm thinking, well, the North is better, for black people. Nah, man, that overtly racist shit is way worse.
The reason I'm asking this question is because, like with Facebook and everything like that, you got people who, are friends, and then you see them. Oh, that's sad that he, dude got his brains blew back on TV and blah blah blah. And that's what I'm saying. Do you look at those people like, oh, so you feel, oh, you must be racist because you you feeling bad for this dude, getting killed. Like, is that the look you have towards a person who has, a white person who has empathy for Charlie Kirk?
So I
I
think I
know
think
your answer, Lou. Yes.
Move, what's your oh, go ahead, move. I'm sorry.
Go
I didn't
ahead,
mean to
tell us,
interrupt.
just for the record, what's your answer, Move?
Now say that again. Now, yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Come on, man. Come on, pay
Yeah, so
attention.
so really the
Yeah.
question is like, is it he want to know if how you feel about if a white person.
If do you think that a white person who's showing empathy for Charlie Kirk, does that naturally make them a racist?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's your. I was saying you were going to answer yes, so I was just getting you to put it on the record because I knew you was going to say yes.
They definitely racist. Yeah.
All right, what about you, Sean? So your answer
So,
is
so I have friends like that. So that's a good one, man. So like I
that's
know
why I
some,
asked you that because me
yes.
too. So
So I know some white.
that's why I want to know what y'all think.
So
I'm tricking you into the wormhole. Come
I
on in.
no,
Come
I'm
on
just
in
gonna,
the wormhole with me.
I'm always gonna be honest, man. So honestly, I know some people like that. You know what I mean? Ultimately, I do think that for the most part that they're good people. I do think that this climate, this political climate that we're in this world that we're in, I think that they don't actually view Charlie Kirk as racist, right? So I think there's a difference between being racist on purpose and unintentionally racist. Now, not say either one's better. I'm saying they both just as bad. But I kind of give them just a little bit of little pass because I don't feel like it's intentional. I think that they feel like, that the things that they honestly believe that the things that Charlie Kirk was saying was like, some profound shit or that he was actually a good person trying to better the world. They didn't see him as racist. So not that that's any better though, Charlo. You know what I mean? I think that's harder for me when I debate them. It makes it harder for me because then I have to show them that that is racism. Whereas it would be easier if I was just debating a racist who already knew they were racist. They would be like, well, okay, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? But it's harder to make a
Like
person that
this
doesn't.
dude.
I wasn't going to debate him on it, man. I respect his opinion, brother. but
No,
uh,
but see, that's why I asked the question because he is my boy and he is racist, and I would warn him, and I would, feel bad if something happened to him. And just because of that, am I racist?
no, but as a black man, I'm not gonna. I would never. That's why I got much respect for Moo, man. I'm not gonna put Moo and do anything or put him in a situation where
But what I'm saying
But see,
is, I'm trying to get you to take your respect from take all
I
that
see what
out.
you're saying. No, that's
You're
good. That's good.
putting
I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
like if you just switch my color, that's what I'm saying. And I gave you the same scenario. You was like, yeah, that's racist, but they don't know they're racist and blah blah blah. And I just then so I'm like, okay, well, what if Moo, who said he's a racist? If something happened to him, I would mourn him and genuinely be empathy and sad if something happened to him. And do that make me a racist?
But that's your brother,
And they
man.
don't know I'm a racist.
But that's your brother. He's your brother. He's your family. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think
but
there's a
it
difference.
wouldn't be just me at the funeral, is what I'm saying. It'd
Yeah,
be a lot of us there.
but I'm just saying, like that's a little different because that's he's family, Moo's family. You know what I mean? And
If he
that's a
wasn't my family, would I be considered racist?
Charlo, man. You gonna go there with me, huh?
I'm asking. I got this a conversation to be had. We asking the tough
I,
questions,
I, I
man.
don't
I
think it
told
fits.
you. I started off. This would be an
No, you're
uncomfortable
good.
version of a conversation to be had. So we have it.
Like I said, I think that some racist is intentional and some are unintentional. I would say you're unintentionally racist, man. Yeah, unintentionally. Yeah.
No, he means to be all the
Yeah,
time
I'm talking about you.
racist.
That's not the question you asked. You said,
He's
"Hey,
an asshole.
no,
You know.
who's cool, man?" I'm just saying, like,
Who? What did you
if
say?
no, I wouldn't say that it would be racist if a white guy would mourn the death of of Charlie, man. I would think that's just a person just being human, you know.
that's a good point. That's what I was thinking. So that's the crux I'm at, man. So that's why I like this conversation because there's a part of me that feels
No.
like, man, just there's a human part of me that feels like, damn, man, you know what I mean? That's fucked up what happened to him, man, and seeing him like that and everything like that, just as another human fucking being, you know what I mean? And that's the part that I probably should
And
tap in
then,
more when it
and
comes to this.
then,
That's
and then, and then, you know, and then too, it was the way he got hit too. You know, I mean, they said
yeah,
his family was there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like a broadcast, his
And,
family
and,
was
and
there.
what brought that question up is because it's like I said, I'm looking at the comments on social media and I'm seeing and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, y'all, the last time I seen a split like this was the first time Donald Trump ran for president. And so like if you like Donald Trump, you was automatically racist and all your black friends was I'm talking about as from an aspect of a white person. If you said you liked Donald Trump, then automatically your black friends thought you was racist. That's how we started going. And then it's just snowballed into something way bigger now. But this is reminding me of that. Like when I'm looking at the comments and knowing, I ain't gonna say how white people think, but the majority of them kind of have like this, they don't have that kind of vitriol. Like when I'm looking at the comments and you have a white person saying how bad they feel of where this country is going, or, to kill somebody like that is wrong. They're just showing empathy. They're not supporting him, like supporting him. So like but then I see a black person jump on them doing that, like, oh, you must be a racist too. No, I think that's wrong. Like, man, you shouldn't, like, put it to you like this. If I didn't know what was going on, I would think a lot of them black people was evil, because you looking at, they just showing empathy for a man who got shot. They ain't saying they support his views or nothing. They just saying that him getting, his head blown off on TV was bogus. Like, and you jumping on them like, oh, you a racist because you like that. Ooh. Like, this is the type of subject where a lot of people don't even listen to Charlie Kirk. They just know they saw somebody get shot on TV. For real. Not everybody's you got to really follow politics to know who Charlie Kirk is. Am I right? He's not a household name if you just said you never heard of him till you've seen the shooting, right? If you're not a political person, you would never know who Charlie Kirk is. But if you turn on your TV and the news, they show this dude getting blown away on TV under a tent. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have empathy for that. Like, oh man, that's wrong. And then that don't automatically make you a racist. But like, if you put that in your comments, people was jumping on you. Like, oh, you must be a racist too. You like that dude. And woo, woo, woo. I don't think that's right. And I think that's where we starting to split up. It's like I said, it's starting that mind game is coming into play right there. Because now we're making it a black-white issue when, like I said, ain't no black even in the whole thing.
So,
Yeah,
no, I feel you, man. I honestly think that, this situation here is more of a left-right thing, though, more than it is white-black. Wouldn't you agree? It's more left-right, to be honest with you.
even that, bro. He was a Republican.
So like, it's crazy because
he was independent.
Yeah, but we don't know anything about the guy. So like, okay, so this guy, his family was all Trumpers, right? Like everybody in his family was Trumpers. They were
policemen.
But the policemen, they were very ultra religious, national Christians, or whatever you call them, the Christian ultra nationalists or whatever. They were that too. And then when you go look at like, the bullets that he fired, he had little engravings in them. And I think a lot of people miss those meetings, right? So I got kids, right? So yeah, there was one, I think one of the bullets, in fact, I got it. Hold on, man. Bullet said, hey, fascist, catch. A lot of people don't understand the meaning behind these bullets. So that doesn't, so a lot of people be like, oh, well, he was Antifa, he was anti-fascist. Well, hold up. A lot of the stuff he put on those bullets was from gaming and meme culture, right? So like, If you watch the Utah governor or whatever come on there, and he was like, "Hey," he had one of his sets that notices bulges, capital O, capital W, capital O. What is this? That's not how you say that. In meme culture, it's notices bulges. Ooh woo. What's this? Only reason why I know this shit is because I got a 5-year-old and 12-year-old who do that shit all the time in my house, right? So he was like cracking. The bullets were basically. Oh, he had another one where it said, "If you read this, you're gay." Element AO. Those are things that they put in like when they're internet gaming and stuff. The meme culture and stuff like that. Those are all phrases that they use. The "hey fascist catch." People say that before they about to drop a bomb on you in video game culture. That's all that shit meant, right? And then he even had little arrows, up arrow, right arrow, 3 down arrows, right? It's a cheat code to a video game. He was huge into gaming. So we can't even really say at that point that, okay, was he Antifa? We don't know, man. But that's what they're going to because it said fascist because they don't understand the internet gaming and meme cultures that they have there. The only thing that was really anti-fascist, and even that was part of gaming, is the "Oh Bella Ciao" song. That is like an Italian song, but it was also in video games, and he was a huge gamer. So everything he put on those bullets was video games meme culture. So it doesn't really point at the fact that this guy was anti-fascist. On top of that, dude dressed as Donald Trump for like Halloween and as a groiper. Do you guys know what a groiper is?
No,
Okay.
enlighten me.
I heard of
Okay. You heard of him?
Republicans or something like that.
No, okay, you ever see all those Pepe the Frog memes? That little green frog everywhere, the Pepe the Frog memes? Y'all ever seen those? So, okay, there was a website, 4chan, right? And 4chan, they used to make these Pepe the Frog memes. And if you saw one, you know exactly what I was talking about. I wish we had one we just flash on the screen right now. Pepe the Frog was called so Nick Fuentes. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's an ultra white Christian nationalist. He's from Chicago. Nick Fuentes. He started with the Pepe the Frog memes. What's called the Groiper, kind of like the army, right? And so the Groiper was the Pepe the Frog, but he was wearing like those Adidas tracksuits, right? Like they take that from Eastern Europeans because they're saying like they're the real like gangsters and whatnot because they're all white nationalists and stuff like that, and they put it on Pepe the Frog. Dude that did the shooting of Charlie Kirk has a picture where he's dressed like a groiper. He did the it's called something stance. I think it was, you know, like folks got like a 5-point stance and shit or whatever. They had a stance too that they did that was back with the Eastern European thing and stuff like that. He was doing that. So now you put that on top of it. That makes it seem like he's far right. You know what I mean? Like he's a far right individual. Maybe he was mad at Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk wasn't going far right enough. But then you got to put him on top of the fact that he just killed the far right, the main leader or head of the far right movement for the youth. So we don't really know. But they're going in this media. My whole point is that the media is going in here and they're perpetuating even bigger divide and split. And that's where I think the real fracture is that. Yeah, there's the racial side, black and white, but I don't think that's really what it was. What it really is right and left. One last thing, and I'll shut the fuck up. Watch the speech from the Utah, I think it was the governor, how he was praying that it wasn't a white man. He was like, man, I was just praying that it was a black or brown person. You know, I'll get the words up in a minute. But he said that he was like, I was praying that it wasn't. Basically, he was saying, I was praying he wasn't a white man. I was praying that it wasn't so. And he said it in his speech. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, the fuck? This man, I can't believe he said that shit. And I'll find it real quick because I know I'm taking too much time with everything right there. And I'll find out and come back to that.
Yeah, that sounds crazy because, like I said, man, it's 15 people, black people in Utah. You know, 4 of them is in Les Barbecue's family. Every way, you know, and then the rest is on the Utah football team. You know,
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, man. I know you wasn't gonna try to blame that one on us. Dang.
You know, Nick Fuentes, I check him out sometimes, man. He said a lot of controversial things too. But I don't really see him getting the same type of response that Charlie got.
Dude, he had to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. My fault.
Go ahead.
Real quick, he had to put up a GoFundMe because he was getting somebody doxed his address out in Chicago, and he was like, "I'm scared for my life. I'm so scared for my life. I need money." You know what I mean? Because people were coming for him, and like he's not as big as Charlie Kirk, but he's been in those meetings with like I think he met with Trump before with Kanye or some shit. Didn't he meet with Trump? He was with Kanye, and they met Trump for dinner or some shit. So he's getting up there, but he's like far right. He's Nazi, dude, straight. You know what I mean? Like he's
So
Nazi right.
let's say let's say even when K Dot had this concert, and if you remember, it was a white girl who he had on the stage. She was
Yeah.
singing along with him, right? You know where I'm going with it, right? She got to the N word part, and when she said nigga, people, you know, they was upset with her. You know what I'm saying? He had to shut it down real quick. I can't say that's just my personal feeling about that. Since we talking about racism, um, I know some niggas gonna be like, man, for real, bro. But if the white person is singing it along and they're using the word in the context of the song, if they are representing our culture, if they they talk like us, they walk like us, they are home, and we know they're not using it, in that way. I personally, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not offended person, you know what I'm saying? Now, I do think it's a difference when you notice a person is using those words to troll you, So that's why I had brought up Nick Fuentes, because, he say a lot of controversial things. Some things be true, and sometimes, I think, if something needs to be said, I can't really say, you know, who should say it or who shouldn't say it. I know white people, they be some of the first people to call out their own on some things. I think sometimes we need to call out some of our own sometimes.
No,
Moo,
absolutely. Yeah.
Moo. What your dumb ass up? Do you sleep, dog? God, dog. This dude.
Hey.
Yeah, you finally did it, SL.
It was the voice, man. It's that deep voice, man. That sounds
Yeah, you finally did it. That boy, he didn't land that plane, and man, the passengers fell asleep.
Man, well,
The
put you down,
passengers
Mo.
went to sleep. They, they got on a returning flight. But
hey, real quick, Charlo, real quick.
yeah.
I got put my ass to sleep.
I just wanted to. The point I was making before about that governor, this is the quote that he said, and I'll just leave it at that. He said, "For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove." That's what he said. He said that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for, but it did happen here, and it was one of us. Who the fuck says that? Like that's audacity.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense because, like, think about this. If you take a typical white person and you tell them to, like, we're going to do an exercise, make up a crime scene. The black guy always did it. That's the first thing. That's the first, that's the first go-to. The black guy always did it. You know what I'm saying? Until you find out otherwise. But that's usually the go-to. When the mama drowned her kids and, drive the car in the river and drown her kids, it was the black guy that did it, Come on, man.
Some actors turned down roles because they didn't want that.
Yeah, it's all,
Yeah.
so I get that.
So I got another question. This is for everybody. Okay. So they said that the father and the priest were the ones, family members that turned the boy in, right? That's what they're saying, right? So if you found out your son did something like this, you think you'd be able to turn him in, Charlo?
If my son was him, the dude, in particular, like this dude.
Just for this instance, not if he was like if your son was a fucking serial killer, I get that. I'm just talking about he shot Charlie Kirk. Would you be able to turn him in?
I couldn't do it because and this is what I'm thinking. Like when he go to jail, it's gonna be bad for him. I mean, he a young, you already know what's gonna happen to him.
I couldn't do it either.
He gonna come in the first day. The Snicker gonna be on the bunk bed waiting on him when he come in there. You know what I'm saying? So
You got the president talking about the death penalty. You got everybody talking about the death penalty.
Before the death penalty even comes.
I'm just saying though, not my boy, man. I couldn't do it, man. I wouldn't.
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I already know what happened to him. Like, and this sounds crazy to say, but like, I probably would want him to have taken his own life rather than go through what he about to go.
I ain't gonna do that. We gonna work this out, son. Look, you.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't tell on him, but like, if he had told me like that, I was ready to kill myself. I feel you, son. So look, I'm gonna give you a head start. Here go the credit cards. Yeah. No, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna sit on the couch, just be, I'm got Alzheimer's now.
I'm not turning my boy in for some shit like that, man. I couldn't believe that when I found out it was his father. I was like, he did what?
Yeah, that's a tough decision right there. No, it's not. Like I said, to be real with you though, like if my son was in that type of life, then I would be on some like, yeah, man, that's just a consequence. You're going to turn yourself in. But if he was like a real like square dude, like that dude was, like I know what's gonna happen then when he go in there, it's over for him. Like him taking his own life is probably better than what's gonna happen to him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Before you give him the death penalty. That's what I'm saying. Like what you about to put him through, like, is hell before hell. Before he see hell, you about to put him through hell. So I couldn't do it if that was my son, is what I'm saying.
What about you? Would you be able to, what would you do in that situation? I already know what Moo would do. Moo would throw a party. You break out some Hennessy. Right. Buy him some new Jordans. What would you do?
Come on, man. I got you.
Yes. I ain't finna say shit, nigga. You good.
Oh, shit, I love you, brother. What about you, Ansel?
We're going to cut the commercial on that. You know what I'm saying? No, but I don't know, man. That is a tough one, man. I think a lot would depend on, how, my decision on it.
I feel like that for this, that's why Charlo, I asked you just for this situation, because I mean if like my son was out there doing things like, I don't know, raping women, beating kids, killing children and stuff like that, nah, you gotta go. You know what I mean? But for a situation like this, you know what I mean, I'd have probably took him under my wing and did everything possible I could to make sure that he stays safe. And if you get caught, hey, I didn't know shit, okay, but I'm not going to be the one that's going to turn you in.
Yeah, because like I said, his son in particular, like, man, what your son about to go through, man, you probably should have just let him go on, man, packed him a lunch or something, and you're going to give him 15 minutes before you tell him that's what you want. Something, man, but you didn't like what he finna go through, bro.
Right.
It ain't gonna be right, bro. And then you gotta think, man, it's gang culture in there, and it's a MAGA culture in there. You know what I'm saying? You already know that, so you ain't got no protection from them. I mean, like I said, the Snicker bar gonna be sitting on the bed when he come in the first day, when he have his stuff before he ain't even got his bed made. He got his pillow in his hands. That Snickers bar gonna be sitting there like, ooh, somebody like me already. A lot of people like you already. The whole damn death row like you already. But yeah, man. So I guess that's the show, man. We're probably gonna get into some other issues, because this ain't gonna end. It's snowballing into something else. Like I said, I don't understand how this turned into a race issue, but it is a race issue. But it's good that we can talk about it, have some conversation about it. Because like I tell y'all, the conversation, doesn't always lead to agreement, but it does lead to understanding. And that's all you got to do is understand somebody. You ain't got to agree with them. You walk in your house, I walk in mine. We ain't got to agree, but when we come outside, if we understand each other, everybody get along peacefully. Because when you got to understand, you got respect. You know what I'm saying? Moo, we're gonna have to work on you, man. We're gonna have to, you can't be being a racist your whole life, man,
Fuck it. It's gonna be pretty hard, then, buddy, to work on me.
We're gonna need you to come to the other side.
Oh, that shit ain't happening. Fuck that.
You see, Rashawn done went all the way to the other side. He done got him a white wife. He said, shit, I went all the way, nigga. I'm on the other side, I'm all the way. No, he got a cool wife, though. She's a nice girl. Man, you want to take us out, SL? Because I don't want to give it to Sean because we'll be here another 20 minutes. So
I got a whole soliloquy ready, Charlie.
bro, I know you do. Take us out. Take us out, SL.
Man, once again, man, I think it's unfortunate what happened to Charlie, man. Charlie Kirk. I know the whole world seemed to be up in arms about it. A lot of people in their emotions about it, man. He had a family, he had a wife, children. And at the end of the day, however we feel about it, that man was still human, And like Rashawn said, man, we can't always have an opinion about what somebody else's opinion is.
What up, Moo? You got something you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to. No, I'm fucking lying. I ain't gonna try to work my racism. I was still lying. I ain't gonna work on it. It is what it is.
All right, y'all. That's the show. We out.